That's right, ladies and gents, I'm back with my favorite hot hatch, the i30N. Yes, there are objectively better hot hatches out there, like the Toyota GR Yaris Rally with its front and rear limited slip diff, it's all-wheel drive, that's customizable, blah, blah, blah. But this is still my favorite. Now, the reason that I've pulled out another i30N from Hyundai's press fleet is really because I get asked all the time, Hyundai's new 8-speed dual clutch versus the manual. I've already reviewed the manual, so click somewhere over there to watch that review if you want to learn more about the dual clutch. But this one here is the manual. And in today's review, we're still going to go through the whole review because I just love it so much, I'm going to do it anyway. That means we're going to take a look at the exterior, the interior. We're going to launch it from 0 to 100 source points per hour. We're of course going to be driving the out of it. And I'm going to tell you whether or not you should go for the manual or the auto, because there's a lot of contentious debate. And in my last video, I can't tell you how many people have asked me both on there and in person which I would take. So I'm going to tell you today. Anyway, I'm so excited, as you could probably tell. Let's just get straight into it. Okay, so now I want to talk about the exterior, and let's start with the front. So first of all, you get these really cool daytime running lights here. The LED lights there as well are super duper bright. I love how aggressive it is. You get a new grille as well. Kind of does look like a bit of a catfish, but still looks really cool to me. And down the bottom is a nice meaty diffuser with this red piping here. Again, not a huge fan of this white, but whatever, at least it's an i30N. You've also got functional aero here too. So you have these here, which help to cool the brakes and streamline air across the side. I really like the front of this thing, but let's check out the side. Okay, so taking a look at the side of the i30N, first thing that you'll notice are these 19-inch forged alloy wheels. They do help to lower the unsprung mass of the car, and that really helps with handling, as you'll see on the drive. They're wrapped in Pirelli P0 tires, which are not my favorite. I'm on record saying that the Michelin Pilot Sport 4s are just simply better, because sometimes it can scramble for traction and things like that, but oh well, they're decent. You've also got the obligatory hot hatch red brake calipers. They are of course N, which stands for Namiang or Nürburgring, Hyundai's performance division, and they're pretty massive brakes too, and they really do help stop cars on track. I did take this thing on the track, drives really well. Coming to the rest of the side here, down the bottom, you will see a N side skirt, just, you know, scratchy black plastic, but whatever. Also, of course, keyless entry and go. Oh, look. Let's go. But you got your nice little cuts and creases into the side. It really is a hatchback, right? But that's exactly what I would want. I love my hot hatches. You guys know I have a Mark V GDI. I don't know, it kind of has similar silhouette to that. And then of course we have the bum of the i30N. Look at these beautiful little rear tail lights here. They're of course new. You have an absolutely enormous rear spoiler, and look, you get your third brake light up there, and it looks like a rain light. Very cool. The i30N badge right there, love that. Not so sure about the bumper, because for this facelift they raised up the black plastic and now it just goes whoop all the way up there. But otherwise it's got this really cool but fake rear diffuser going on. And look at these exhaust pipes, they are enormous and boy are they real. Take a listen. Yeah, overall, I love the way that this thing looks, but let me know what you guys think down in the comment section just below that like button. Okay, let's chat interior. Now, I've chosen again to go for the base spec, meaning it's not the premium with the nicer interior, because I don't want any sort of claims of me being biased. It's spec for spec, but that's not a bad thing, because again, I can show you why the base model can sometimes be the better choice. The base seats in here are still pretty good. They're very comfortable, very supportive, good side bolstering, not too squishy for thicker boys like me. They do have completely adjustable lumbar support, which I'm really thankful for, but they are manually adjusting and the cloth can feel, you know, a little bit cheap. But otherwise, the rest of the cabin is a little bit boring. It's a sea of black plastics in here. There are soft touch in places, but there's other, oh, I hate it, scratchy materials. Not that you really touch it, and really I don't care, because again, for the price point, I'm really impressed. The tech in here has been upgraded, so now you get a 10.25-inch infotainment display. Now the screen is just as functional as the last one. Wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, because Hyundai are still having some sort of battle with Google or Apple and they won't enable it. I don't know why this system is capable of wireless. Anyway, you also get navigation and digital radio too. And it is one of the best screens out there. It's just super responsive, color accurate, high definition, and really, really easy to use. And I love that you get an N mode screen. Here is also where you access your launch control, which don't worry, we will be getting to. And you can also change your custom drive settings like massively. You got this spider diagram here to do that. It's really cool. The steering wheel is really, really nice. One of the nicest to hold on to. Love the blue stitching around it. Of course, you've got your drive mode selectors here on the left. You can go between normal, sport, and eco, but on the right, you can go between N mode, which is full fat, 100% everything, and also custom mode, which is what I drive around in, and you can, as you saw, customize it like a million different ways. The instrument cluster up ahead of you is analog, which again is strange because I've also driven the i20N recently and the Kona N, both of which have a digital instrument cluster, and to be honest, it's just that little bit better, but this is still very, very good. In fact, I'm gonna rev it now just for informative purposes. I better stop or I'll get kicked out of here.
A few moments later.
Oh no, I feel a bit of a cough coming on. Sorry about that. Now, of course, this is a practical family hatchback, so you get plenty of storage, couple cup holders in the center. You get a storage area up front, and it is a wireless charger. Yay, that's new. Also, you get a USB-C port there and two 12-volt sockets, which is nice. And the door bins are also a pretty massive size too. Not the most amount of storage space, but it's pretty good. Now, of course, the elephant in the room is that this thing is a 6-speed manual. The shifter itself is so nice to shift, super notchy, and quite short throws too. You've got the blue stitching there too, which looks nice. I will say, if you're new to manual driving, you might struggle to drive this because this is definitely one of the harder manuals to drive. And really only because the clutch pedal itself is super springy. Great for the racetrack. For daily driving, it does make it a little bit difficult, which is kind of a win for the dual clutch, but we'll get back onto that soon. Okay, so in the back now, and it's not as good as I remember. At 5'11", I really don't have much legroom at all. Plenty of toe room and a lot of headroom there too, thanks to the hatched body. Quality as well, it does feel, again, a little bit cheap just because of these seats. If you go for that premium pack, you get leather seats back here. You get map pockets here too. No air vents, but that's because you get a real handbrake, which is nice. Although I kind of just would have preferred an electronic handbrake and air vents. It's a hot day today and I'm feeling it. You also get a little center armrest here, which is actually quite well padded. And you get a couple of cup holders there too. So it's a decent place to be, not the greatest. In terms of practicality, as you would hope for a hatch, it's actually pretty good. You get a pretty enormous amount of room back here. In fact, here is my backpack for scale. The only issue is that there is a massive load lip. So if you're carrying heavier items, you know, it can take some effort to pull them out. Now, if we take out this rather crappy feeling cargo cover, once that's out, we can put down the rear seats and you can see that there's actually quite a lot of space back here. The issue though then becomes this giant brace bar, which is really cool and I would rather have it than not, but unfortunately means you can't just slide things through. You also get your little hooks here, a 12-volt socket and a space saver spare wheel. Now the specs of this thing is really what blows my mind. It's not just the 2-litre 4-cylinder turbo petrol engine that pumps out 206 kilowatt of power, 392 newton meters of torque, both of which have been bumped for the facelift, and boy is this thing quick. But it's the price. This thing starts at just under 49,000 Australian dollars. That's exactly the spec I'm driving here today with the boring white paint and the 6-speed manual. 49 grand for what you get is absolutely absurd. But also absurd is just how powerful and quick this thing is. And what better way to show that than by launching it? So let's give it some launch control sauce. Okay, so we got the clutch all the way in, flooring it, let's go. Oh, that didn't feel good. Oh, 0 to 100 in 7.23 seconds. Oh, yeah, that's not too great. I'm gonna try that one more time because I think I can do better if I just try and launch it myself, because launch control on these, they frankly suck. Well, at least they do in the manual, so let's try again. Okay, let's try and modulate this myself. Come on. Whew. 0 to 100 in 6.87 seconds. Hey, you know what? I'll take it. Not quite the 5.9 that they promised, but close enough. All right, but how else does this thing drive? Let's talk about that. Oh no, we have to quickly accelerate onto a highway. Well, I'll take it. Let's do it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's a bit of a failed shifting of gears there, but we made it. Okay, so what's the i30N manual like to drive? Well, let's get what will be exactly the same over and out of the way. First of all, they've improved the suspension for this facelift, so it is a lot more comfortable on the road. The pre-facelift was just a little bit too stiff when you had it in its softest setting, because of course this has adaptive dampers, but right now I've got the car in custom mode, where I've put it to its softest setting, but everything else 100%, and it's really quite comfortable. Exactly where you would hope it to be for a hot hatch. When you're just cruising along the highway, you can hear quite a bit of road noise and a bit of wind noise too. Unfortunately, that is the nature of having really large wheels, and also because it's just based on an economy car. The i30 is a cheap, small hatchback, but that's what I love about hot hatches. It's the same with all hot hatches. They all have this base, and then they've got this like hot hatch model that's just absolutely insane, as we will get to, because we're about to get to Saucy Corner. The other thing to note as well is it's just easier to drive the dual clutch. You just don't have to think about anything. For some people, that'll be a deal breaker. You know, they want to be really involved, but when you're just cruising along, the last thing I want to keep doing is, you know, changing gears, and it's not like you're on a racetrack, right? It's very different. So in terms of daily livability, the dual clutch is frankly better, but I don't think there's any objections there. All right, let's go give this thing some more sauce. This thing is absolutely nuts. I love it. Oh, my favorite hot hatch. Still my favorite hot hatch. Now you might notice that I'm in different clothes to before, and that's really because it started raining when I got here, just my luck. And it's not really a fair test to put the auto in dry conditions and this in wet conditions. It makes no sense. But we're coming up to our back roads now, so let's put this car into second. Oh man, it really does hook up. Regardless of which you go for, I think you're going to be pretty happy. that's kind of the takeaway right now. Yeah, look, it's definitely more engaging when you're driving out here with the manual. And something that I was really fearful of when I drove the auto was that it would just be, you know, disengaging. You know, it's automatic, everything's left up to it, but really it's not. And to be honest, I was probably having the same amount of fun on these back roads. But really, we're about to get to the ultimate test, Saucy Corner. I really want to see how this will go up there. I presume it's going to be very fun, but there's only one way to find out, right? Okay, full fat N, let's go. Oh, a little bit of wheel spin. It does like a dual clutch fart. Oh, these things just hook up. Oh, I love this. Come on, baby. That's so much fun. You know what? That might have been a little bit more fun than the dual clutch, though. Again, it's really minimal. Now, when we're in this N mode, let me tell you, it's very, very stiff. But you don't really drive this on anything other than a track. That's why I have custom mode set up with everything 100% except for suspension, because the suspension can get very stiff. But that's exactly what you want when you're on the track. I think it's only manners to go back down Saucy Corner and keep talking about this. One of the most amazing things about the i30N is that it does have just such a corner carving differential in it. Now, it's an electronically controlled limited slip differential, meaning it sends power to the wheel with most grip, so it kind of pulls you around a corner. So when you're going around a corner, you just feel like you've got the most amount of grip ever. It's insane. Oh, what better demonstration than right here? Come on, baby. Come on. Oh, it just hooks up with a little bit of understeer. There is definitely a little bit of understeer, but it's almost non-existent. People say that these things have a magic front end, and they certainly do. It's pretty incredible how they drive. The steering is very, very heavy, just how I like it. You, of course, can dial that back, and which is the amazing thing about this car is you can adjust it however you want it. Although, obviously, even when you're in normal mode, it still feels pretty damn sprightly. But yeah, personally, I'm just gonna say I would pick the dual clutch. It's just objectively better. You can subjectively have more fun in a manual, and often with a hot hatch, the manual is the best way to go. But there's something about the i30N dual clutch, the 8-speed, it's just phenomenal. Really, really good. This is still amazing, by the way, though. So if you have a manual, I'm not slandering it. I think it's awesome too. I think it's just, if it was my only car, I'd probably get the dual clutch. Maybe as a weekender, but even then, I really like the dual clutch. Okay, so what's my final thoughts on the new Hyundai i30N? Well, I'm standing by the fact that this is my favorite hot hatch. I don't think it's objectively the best out there. I definitely think it's the best value proposition for a new hot hatch. The power you get is absolutely absurd. The sound is amazing. I think it looks great. Maybe not so much in this white paint, but get it in performance blue. That's just the color you have to get. Fun fact, apparently 1/3 of all of these are sold in performance blue, which I'm kind of surprised by, but good. Very good. The interior is definitely not the nicest, but it's incredibly functional and has everything you could really need, even without the luxury pack in it. Now, manual versus dual clutch. So the dual clutch is objectively better in every single metric except for price. That's it. I'm a manual fan. I own a manual Golf GTI, but if I was buying one of these, 100% I'd buy it in the dual clutch. I think if this is going to be your daily driver, get it in the dual clutch. It's much more livable. I mean, I was driving here with a Macca's coffee and it was really tough to drive, whereas a dual clutch, you just, you know, you sit back, you drink it. It's just small things like that that make the dual clutch easy to live with. It's faster. It's just better. But if this is your weekend car and you want a manual, go for the manual. It's still awesome. Anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. Let me know what you guys think of the i30N down in the comment section below. Of course, subscribe to the channel. I'd love to have you around, and leave a like if you did enjoy the video because it helps the channel out. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next week. I don't want to give it back.